Top of the morning, KG.
Top of the morning to you, good sir. Rise and shine. Good, beautiful morning. How are you, my bro?
I'm doing very well, thanks. And how are you today, KG?
Oh, amen. I am doing great. Okay, let's hear it then. Red, yellow, green. Tell us, my bro.
Green, so very, very green. And yourself, sir?
Amen. I'm green. Life is good.
Yes,
I'm in
we love to
orange
hear
today, but I am green. I am green.
it.
I am green. I am
No, no,
green.
no, that's perfect, KG. So I'm gonna get straight into it with
Let's go.
something we just been discussing. But for those who don't know, I suppose you're under a rock, but it's the Soccer World Cup happening right now, and
World
uh,
Cup, World
uh,
Cup.
Bafana is there for the first time in 16 years since we hosted it.
16
And
years since Shabalala, a
oh,
goal for South Africa, a goal for
go for
Africa.
Africa. It was just, I don't know. It was sort of a hope of an excitement of, well, what could happen? And obviously we
Yes.
lost our first game. So, KG, how are you
Oh,
feeling? Oh, no, no, no. Let me change my question. Where did you watch the game? Did you go catch a
ooh,
vibe? Yeah,
listen to
let's be
this
positive about
guy.
it.
Listen to this podcast, bro. So I got the right questions. Yes, so I think just to kind of to tag along onto that scene is that it is the World Cup. It is the World Cup, and the World Cup is one of the I'd say the most incredible event on planet Earth because not only because football and what it represents, we love football, but all that it represents hope, it represents belief, it represents faith, it represents 4 years, right? 4 years of two things. 4 years, unfortunately, of sometimes leading to failure, right? And people's dreams of 3 years of work falling down, falling flat in the fourth year and having to go again. And more positively, 4 years of work to actualize something that only a handful of people in the whole entire world in existence can ever say is playing at the FIFA World Cup. And now everyone comes there, shoulder countries on their backs, holding all of our love, belief, faith. Yeah, the World Cup is an incredible place. It's an incredible way. And before we get to South Africa, tell us about your feelings of the World Cup. We'll get to my final, we'll get to the rest. But yeah, tell us about football, the World Cup, your feelings, what it represents to you. What does it invoke within you?
So if I can be honest, I think that the hype around this World Cup was not as high. Like,
Yeah,
like when we prep for other World Cups, you have like soccer Fridays we used to have at
yeah,
2010 sort of
yeah,
thing, and people
yeah,
are
yeah,
hyping and
yeah.
people are getting excited, and I didn't feel that this time around, which is a bit disappointing. But for me, I love football. I love South Africa,
Oh,
and
man.
so you put those two things together. Inevitably, I'll be there to back the boys, and you just you watch with hope. You don't want to get too excited, too hopeful. As Manchester United supporters, we know that like sometimes it's the hope that can kill you. So
No,
you,
don't do that. Don't make us Arsenal fans. You don't make us Arsenal fans. You're making us Arsenal fans.
so but you just try, yeah, you try to keep the faith, you try be excited, but keep it low key, and just pride in our country for making it. As I said, first time we've made the
Mm,
World Cup since we hosted it in 2010, and I think it's the
incredible.
first time then that we've like qualified for a World Cup since I think 2002. So yeah,
Yes.
credit to the boys, clap well done. I was excited for them, and they played well to
Oh,
qualify. Even after that three
they,
point deduction, and you're like, hey,
oh my gosh, South Africa.
yeah,
South
they
Africa.
still did it.
We did it. We
They
did
still
it.
did it.
Wow. 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 No, amazing. It's that. It's just a pride and yeah, pride in your country to feel like, especially when you're not, powerhouse, all these things. You're just like, wow, I'm so grateful. I feel so proud that you guys earned this spot. You know what I mean? You guys played, you went through all the, you went through the adversities, you beat the traditional African powerhouses, you know what I mean? Bafana Bafana to the world, Kaufela together, you know what I mean? So
That's a
here's to the
sketch.
FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
well played. Yeah.
Um, and so now
No, no.
back
So I
to
was saying, yeah,
the
the
pertinent
question.
question, right? And in the classic fashion of everything we've just discussed, it's the ups, it's the downs, and sometimes it's the hope that gets you. Bafana Bafana, yo, what a dismal showing. But the question was, where did I watch and what was the
Yes,
vibe?
yes.
So we it was amazing because all the South Africans congregated. We go to a sports bar and we kind of been planning this for now a week and a bit. And we all there before kickoff. It's the show, you know what I mean? We be in
Yeah,
song, we singing, you know, Bafana in the 18 area, you know. And this is in London, right? London Bridge, great pub and a sports bar. And there's just screens everywhere. And we all just everyone is there and it is just so beautiful to see green and gold, the yellow and gold, and the flags around people's shoulders.
indeed.
It was quintessentially South African. Yeah, incredible. And yeah, tell us about you, good sir.
I was on my couch at home watching the game. I thought about it, like you go catch a vibe sort of thing, and I was like, okay, really like think about this. Obviously, the game was late, like 9 o'clock. You know, I was like, yeah, nah, man, I've got an assignment that I need to do for
Uh,
like a job interview. I was like, nah, we just sit on the couch and just like yeah, I think it's great to be in like sports bars and stuff like that. But it's
mhm.
also like it can get intense, it can get loud, it can get rowdy, and I was like, I'm not actually just don't feel like that tonight. I just
I
want to
hear
sit here
you.
and watch football and appreciate football and analyze what we're doing and like no one's walking across your screen, no one is bothering you. Just
Absolutely. And so, how did you enjoy your at home watch party? Tell us.
nah, I loved it. Okay, obviously I didn't love the result. It was
Yeah.
sad to yeah. The performance wasn't great as you said, but it was just yeah to watch our boys just see the atmosphere. So actually, like when they were, I think singing the national anthems, they were panning through the fans and stuff. One of my mates was
Yes,
on TV, and everybody in the group chat's like, "Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it?"
it's
Taking pictures just like that.
incredible.
Like to have been there, I cannot imagine how great that atmosphere must have
Wow,
been. But
wow,
yeah, just
wow.
to watch it and just be by yourself sometimes. And obviously, I guess with the result, it was fine to be at home. If we had won like
Yeah,
2-0, 3-0, or
you
scored
know
a
what I
last
mean?
minute winner sort of thing, it would have been
Yes,
like,
it would have
you
been
should have gone out.
scenes. Yeah,
You
should have been. Yeah, I
should have
hear
been
you.
there.
I hear
Exactly,
you. I
exactly.
hear you. You
But
know,
yeah,
it's
but
it's. Mm.
ultimately, I think yeah, so Bafana, we love you, we backing you, as we football fans, we want you guys to win. We want,
We willing. We are.
yeah, just
You know.
we love the hope. Like as much as we say it's the hope that kills, we love the hope. That's
We are
what
South
keeps us coming
Africans. We
back.
love love. That's what keeps us coming back. And you know,
Exactly.
it's so hilarious because now we go through all the stages of grief, and my partner, she says to me after we heading home, after we the game and now all the fun after we heading home, and she's between emotional and angry because she's like, Papa, Papa, we show up for you every time, and you can't keep doing this. And then she goes down to back to emotional, like, no, man, guys, this is wrong. You guys, we believe in you and you do this. And then she goes, you're angry. And then she goes, and it's like, as South Africans, that's how invested, that's how much we love our nation. We just dialed in. And it's like, Bafana, please. Please. All we ask for is show us passion. Show us that you and I think it almost comes to an interesting discussion, right?
Yeah.
In that part of my feeling after the result was that they didn't feel like they were representing us, right? And represent in that, I think it's when you go out there and you play and you perform, right? There's
Yeah.
you can lose. Losing is okay, you know what I mean? Football happens. But it's important that when you step out onto that field, your nerves, right? Nerves are a privileged position and when you put on a South African jersey, when you put on your national team's jersey, I feel as though you almost don't have the right to feel nerves, right? Because you're not playing for yourself. You are playing for every single person who has thought, wow, Bafana Bafana. Every single person who has come together to the TV to watch. You are playing for every single person who has went and spent their money to buy a jersey, right? And we get this like, oh, this is intense, but you almost don't have a right to have nerves, right? Because this is not about you. You know what I mean? The nature of putting on that jersey at the stage, getting everyone out and sacrificing all these different components of their life for you. That is what you get. You know what I mean? And you then have to represent every single one of us, is what I feel, you know? What do you think?
Would that not make you more nervous though, the idea of like I'm doing this for 60 million people, not just myself? That's a simple, yeah, my simple question.
It's fair, right? But unfortunately, you know, because you're doing it for 60 million people, you have to muster it up. You have to muster up the courage, is what I sort of feel. And maybe it's a loop cycle, but it almost feels like if you arrive nervous, you're letting down everyone. That's the one thing that I kind of, if you come and you show up and rather make mistakes, but you were there. Make
Yeah.
mistakes, you were there, you showed up, you gave your all, knowing that I've got people who are watching you, are counting on me. I'm going to give everything I can for this moment. You know what I mean? That is the feeling that I expect from Bafana moving forward. Mm,
Okay. No, fair. Yeah,
mm.
that's a fair opinion, and I guess to sort of bring it back as we like to do to what we're doing in life. Is it? Some days there's a big
Yeah.
occasion that you need to show up for, and then I guess if you can, you know, I guess so. For example, when we talk about like going for job interviews, you know, for some people, it's about more than providing for yourself. It's about providing for your family and those who have come before you, and those people that have given you the opportunity to be in the seats, sort of thing, and taking that on your shoulder. And that's why I said, that's why my question to KJ was that, would that not make you more nervous in that sense? But I guess, as KJ said, it should make you want to show up more, just be there and rise to
Amen.
that occasion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you so bring it so beautifully home, V. And I heard Oprah once had this thing that she said, and she said, when you step into a room for this big interview, this big moment, this big occasion, think not of you entering the room by yourself,
Hmm.
right? Well, it's either Oprah or Maya Angelou, one of the two. Sorry. But as I'm saying, I'm like, yo, actually, let me just make sure. Let me try and make sure get my facts straight. And when you step into the room, you are stepping into the room with all your ancestors sitting with you, behind you, right? You didn't just enter by yourself. And that support, and like you're saying, that emboldens you. When you take it from that perspective, it's like, wow, yes, everyone who's behind me, right,
Hmm.
allows me to sit up with a straight back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everyone behind me is encouraging me, has said, you deserve this moment. Show up and talk to, like, interviews, the classic sort of, you showcase yourself because every single person who's worked hard for me to be here is cheering me on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I back you.
yeah,
I love that, KJ.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
I don't actually want to go back to the topic because I think we've wrapped it up in a nice little bow there. But I think that
Oh,
we should move right along
mm,
to
yeah,
my
absolutely.
favorite topic to discuss in
Yes,
UK fights.
I was ready. I was ready to. Oh, and there's another topic I thought we're leading into, but
I know what
go
topic you're
to the
thinking of,
weather.
but we're going to start with the weather. I see that it's sunny. I see that it's summer. How are
It
the vibes? Are
is
you excited?
summer sunshine. And so it's been so firstly, always beautiful. Summer,
Yeah.
incredible. But then quintessentially London. cloudy, rainy. It was raining on Friday. It was raining on Thursday. Yesterday and today were the semi-pseudo sunshiny days, but we're always grateful, right? But I
Hmm.
think it's been an interesting summer, and kind of bring it back to the core principles. It's been a very interesting year of transition and change, and when we kind of look at it from last year, all the people I speak to, it's kind of very much big, intense. We knew all the different concerts, gigs, and things that we're going to go to last year. And in contrast, this year, everyone has felt like very low key,
Okay.
and I think it's been a metaphor for life. And this transitionary period or phase that we're in of kind of 30 and building different foundations of our life, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's been so interesting because no one's kind of had big plans. We don't really have big all these things for kind of concerts and holidays and all these things. And at first you kind of lost them like, oh no, like, you know what I mean? What's wrong? Is something going wrong? But then you realize that you've got to allow yourself to live life in seasons, right? And as there's always going to be a big summer, there's always going to be a quiet summer. Do you know what I mean? And that's been an interesting life transition, I have to say, just being feeling good at the fact that, oh well, we're not doing anything crazy, we're just going outside, sit in the sun, home. It felt very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No,
Mm.
and I get that, and I feel something similar, I guess.
Tell
Is that
us.
like, okay? I don't want to say that none of my friends are traveling. Like, guys are going to the World Cup, another one's going to Europe, so they're still making plans, they're still living life, sort of thing. But I do feel like we're almost getting to that. I don't want to say that age. I don't want to put it as like a defined, like
Mm.
when you're 29, you must start doing this sort of thing. But it's
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
at
yeah.
that point in life or that season where people
Phase.
are like, yeah, what, like, not slowing down, but like, what's next, sort of thing. Like, how do I
Mm.
set myself? What
Mm.
am I doing to set myself
Mm.
up for life? Like, who do
Oh
I want to
man,
set myself
absolutely.
up with, sort of
Yes.
thing. And
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
nice transition. It's nice to see the
It
boys calming down and
is.
like, calm, my guys, like,
Calma,
let's relax.
calma, calma. Tranquilo, tranquilo, tranquilo. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I love that.
yeah.
I'm glad to see like people are. There's like what, 3, 4 weddings this year. It's just, it's just everyone
Mm.
just feels like they're transitioning, and I love that for everyone.
No, absolutely. And it's so important to say, I love the analogy that you use is setting up. And it genuinely feels that way. It feels like everyone in all these contexts are setting up shop, right?
Yeah.
And why that is beautiful, right, is that setting up shop it beautifully highlights the essences and the feelings that we discussed last in our previous podcast, right? Is that setting up shop is the most incredible, beautiful thing because you know that you're building to something conscious, right?
Yes.
Something that you decided, right? What's why it makes last month's podcast about kind of the yellow days, the orange days, the low days beautiful is that when you setting up, let's call it the bakery, or you know what I mean, the car garage, right? Painting's not always going to be fun. You know, you're working towards this beautiful, incredible thing, right? That you're building, right? But by virtue and nature of setting up, there's going to be times where it's tough. There's going to be times where you're doing tasks that are not fun. And it's important to recognize that because even in those times, you know that you're moving towards something great. But
Yeah.
it's okay, even in moving towards something great, to be feeling like, oh, I'm not enjoying this part of this task. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't enjoy the sweeping, you don't enjoy the having to kind of chip off the different paint marks before you repaint and create the layers of gloss. And that is the beautiful journey of the setup phase. You know what I mean? We are in the setup phase. We'll get to the phase where we're just selling and oh amazing and there's new challenges and new beauties. But now we're in the creation phase. Mm.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's important to say that your like, what you're setting up for. So as KG's used the bakery example, doesn't need to be the same as what everybody else is setting up. So one can be
Exactly.
the bakery, one can be the car garage, someone else could be setting up a grocery store, whatever. The point
You know what
is
I mean?
that you can honestly be setting up different things. And I think it's also important to say that, if you are at a similar age to us and you don't feel like you're setting up, that's also okay. We have different stages of life where I had, what, 2013 to like, no, from 2024 to 2025 to sort of, do what I wanted sort of thing, and then
Mm,
figured
mm,
like, and I feel like I'm past that now. Like I feel like,
mm,
it's time to, yeah, to start setting something up in life,
mm,
sort of thing. And
mm,
but maybe
mm.
you didn't have that break. Maybe you couldn't afford that. You didn't have that opportunity. So now it was your turn to have that break and live your best life, sort of thing. And as the quote says, comparison is the thief of joy. Just
Yo,
do what
amen.
you got to do. Be where you are and enjoy life.
Mm. And you said something so beautiful, and I'd love for you to kind of share a little bit about this. Can you tell us about their journey, your journey? And I'm going to put it from an angle of taking a grown-up break. You know what I mean? Because in your context, it kind of came together. But tell us about, because like you're saying, some people are setting up, some people are maybe or not setting up, some people are feeding them to figure out their life before they get to the setup. So from that angle, empowering the people maybe in that in between. Tell us about a grown-up break. Tell us about how you ended up there, what that means. Tell us about that.
So
Mm,
for me, it was after articles. Um, So I sort of had eliminated audit as a future for me, and I said no thanks.
mm,
So I decided, yeah, let's give Papili some time, and through doing Papili, you meet people, you learn new things, and you're like, okay, well, technology is what's happening right now, sort of thing. So I started applying for jobs in tech, and I got an incredible opportunity in tech, and
mm.
this job gave me freedom. I get paid in dollars. For those who don't know, the dollar to rand exchange rate, earning in dollars.
And
What a
you're still
life!
you're still living in South Africa. Let's
Still
just
living in
make
South
that
Africa,
clear.
so it was awesome, and it gave me the freedom to, as long as the work was done and you put in the hours, nobody cared where you were, no one cared what you're doing. So I could go play golf every day if I wanted. As long as the work is done, no one's going to ask
Mm,
me too many
mm,
questions,
mm,
sort of thing. And then it was when I, like, after about a year of this job, I was traveling to Europe to see everyone, to watch the Formula One, and I had this idea of like, if the work continues and we live this best life, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just go stay in France for 3 months. That was honestly the plan. So I booked my flights, left, and then the work didn't materialize the way that I wanted to. And that's obviously the risk with like contract work, is that it can be great sometimes, but
mm,
then it's not great at other times, sort of thing. And this time it just didn't work out timing wise. So I had
mm,
to come back to South Africa, and then it sort of, I don't want to say I got over the idea of living in France. That's not the right word, but it's just this, like, that yearning to do it. Like, it sort of left, sort of thing. And I was sort of like,
mm,
yeah, well, given this and what's happened, we're now like, there's not enough work. It's time to start setting something up. And it just felt like I had passed that phase of I want to do
mm,
whatever I want, whenever I want to, sort of thing. And now it's
mm,
time to, like,
mm,
there are realities I want to, there's a life I want to give my family, there's a life I want to live, sort of thing. What do I need to do to get
mm,
there? And that's how it sort of felt since I came back. And yeah, it's still a work in progress. We're still trying to find, where we belong, where it works. But yeah, that for me was my turning point. And okay, I don't know where you are, or if you want to share what
mm.
got you to where you are in the setup, or maybe you still want to live your best life, sort of thing. Yeah, how do you feel? So,
Wow, yeah, I think thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing, King. And it's so beautiful because it's important before even beautiful, because it shows your journey, just shows the lineage of how things go and how things can go. And when I say can go, it's that you can pivot, right? And make these incredible decisions. Like you're saying, you're like, oh, I'm setting up my business and I'm doing all these things, but then life can give you this opportunity to take a break, right? And it's like you then took it when the wave comes, you got to ride it, right? Because the wave is not always going to be there. And that means not to say that now when the wave's not there, you're in a bad place. It just means, as you say, when it puts you on shore, you stand up a different person, right? So when the wave is around you, when you're on the wave, you gotta ride it for whatever it is, because once you get to shore, you're gonna have a whole new incredible perspective. And yeah, so mine was such a poignant moment. I remember beginning of 2024. So I moved to London, be driven guy, grateful for ability to excel and exceed in different things, and worked in South African audit, and was gonna take certain career progressions if had I stayed in South Africa, things that I'd almost dreamed of, the corporate finance route, you know what I mean? That I was, got the things lined up, but I kind of knew London was for me. And when I moved to London, I moved plainly for life. I said I was gonna go live life, go crazy. And I did that for a year and a half. And beginning of 2024, right? The partner, my counseling partner, so kind of the partner who helps you guide your career progress, right? At work, he asked me, the company had instituted this new kind of performance review or performance support thing where they were talking about, let's build your careers, performers, let's kind of help make them a partner, and asking about, oh, okay, cool, how do we get you up this road? And so they asked me, like, so where do you see yourself in 10 years? And for all my life, I always knew what that felt like. You know what I mean? A pool, there's a vision that I had, a feeling in
Yeah,
my
I do.
belly. A pool, it's a sunny day, grass out, and my two kids have just done, I'm describing my vision. They run up to me, and they're young, they're maybe 3, 4, 5. They run up to me, and it's just beautiful. I'm there, I'm lounging, I'm relaxing, and that has always been my vision of kind of, this 35. Let's call it 35. And when he asked me that, I felt so devoid, because for the first time in my life, I I couldn't feel how I was connecting that vision and what I'm doing right now. And by what I'm doing, it's not my work. It's just me, where I'm at in my everyday life. I couldn't, it almost felt like I'm never impossible. And it was in that moment where I had to switch and realize, what am I doing in getting to that vision? Do you know what I mean? And like I said, it's 2026 now, right? That vision encompasses many things. Encompasses family. You know what I mean? Do I have a partner? Am I doing the right things to set my life up to be ready for a partner? Not even looking for a partner. Am I setting my life up in a way that, from a value perspective, I'm giving and I'm receiving the value that can set my life up in that sort of way? And I think, to close off, those are the two things that I'd like to say, is that it's when you have to think about, where would you like to be? Where do you know you must be? And where are you right now? And when you feel and assess that, and you kind of wonder, like, is there a disconnect? Is when you realize that you must do something. And the second thing I'd like to say in that is that it's 2026 now, right? And I'm telling you that this will happen in 2024. And it's also is to say that nothing happens overnight,
Yeah,
but great, incredible things come from intentional direction and consistency.
I love that. Yeah, yeah. I guess to the first point of feeling that disconnect is that you sometimes, the changes. So let's say you looked at 35 and you said, that's where I want to be. I don't see how what I'm doing now is getting me there, but the inverse of that is that you could be saying, okay, well, look at where I am now.
Mm,
I like where I am now, so maybe I need to change what my vision is for 35 sort of thing,
mm,
and where I
yeah.
want to be. So, yeah, I'm getting don't get caught in like because I want to be at 35, I have to change it now. For some people it's different, and you have to
Mm,
just have that moment of introspection to say, what do I what do I want? Where do I want to be? Am I happy where I am now? I think that's the ultimate thing for me is that if you
exactly. 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 Mm, preach.
if you had looked
Preach.
at it and said, like, if you had looked at it and said, in 35, this is where I want to be, and then, but what I'm doing now is not getting there, and you said, well, okay, well, I'm where I am right now, like, this is like living, this is
Amen.
prime, this is,
Yes.
then I think, yeah, you almost have to do the opposite and say, okay, well, let's adjust where we see ourselves at 35, sort of thing. This is this life.
Absolutely.
It's
Mm.
precious. It's lovely. I love life. So these past
Oh,
few
we're
weeks,
so grateful. Mm.
I've been it's winter here, so the sun comes up a bit later, and I just walk out onto the balcony. I can see the sunrise, and I just look, and I just it's this moment of like, what a life, eh? Like another
What
day.
a
Uh,
life.
yeah, just
Honestly, and
grateful for every day.
it's so incredible. And, just the one beautiful thing that I'd love to add in that, right, is everything you ever need is already within you. There's nothing as a being that you do not have that is currently in your being right now.
I love that, KG. And I think with that, KG, I'm gonna say top of the morning. So
Oh, and the rest of the day to you, good sir.